nose from anything in the nature of an unattractive redness. She sighed profoundly. "Yes, indeed, my love. Believe me, you will." But Juliet merely stared in a bored fashion at the roof of the carriage. Her aunt decided that this was an excellent opportunity to enlarge upon the attractions of matrimony. "I don't mind confessing to you, love, that it is the greatest wish of my life to see you married. Marriage is such an excellent thing, in every possible way," she enthused, as if it were part of her mission in life, to make certain there were few, if any, spinsters. "And there is nothing more humiliating than to be left upon the shelf. A young woman in her mid-20s who has turned down several offers and has her face obstinately set against acquiring the responsibilities of a home and a husband is really a poor, unfortunate thing, for the day will dawn when there will be no one to partner her at balls, and—" Juliet's long eyelashes drooped. "I am not yet in my mid-20s, aunt," she reminded her, "and if I am to become a wallflower before very long, it will not greatly upset me." "But, dearest, I was naturally not referring to you." "Then who were you referring to?" The long eyelashes lifted, and the glorious blue eyes gazed directly at Mrs. Winterbourne. That good lady shrugged her shoulders helplessly, and made vague fluttering movements with her hands. "I was endeavouring to point out to you the evils of a certain situation. After all, it is my duty as your closest relative." "Then pray forget your duty and be comfortable. You were admiring the landscape just now. Why do you not continue to do so?" "Because there are other matters of far greater importance I wish to draw your attention to." "Please, aunt, my head aches." And the younger woman actually put her hand over her eyes to shut out both the face of her aunt and the passing scenery. Not in the least offended by this behaviour, Mrs. Winterbourne altered her tactics and fell to making sympathetic clucking noises. She offered her companion the use of her own vinaigrette, which was refused, and reproached herself for wishing to unburden herself of one of her most pressing problems when the moment was obviously far from suitable. Then it occurred to her that diverting conversation with no personal implications was ideal in cases such as this, and she embarked upon the fascinating subject of their destination, which she did not think could fail to interest the girl beside her. "To think that it is fully 20 years since I was last at Whitehurst. I dare say it is all vastly changed, for the late Sir Basil had such modern ideas, and was for ever improving things and making alterations. Or so Cicely tells me in her letters. It was so sad that he died as he did, but I believe she is quite over it now, which is perfectly proper, as it is certainly 18 months since she was obliged to purchase her weeds, and I see no sense in a woman mouldering away her life for no reason. I am sure you will find her the kindest, most charming person imaginable, love, and I know that she is very anxious indeed to meet you. And as for her son, Sir Nicholas, why, she and I have had it quite settled between us for years that—" But here discretion got the better part of Mrs. Winterbourne's somewhat unwise tongue, and she checked herself on the verge of saying something it would be better not to say at the moment. One had to be so extraordinarily careful with Juliet, and Mrs. Winterbourne sometimes confessed that she did not understand her own niece in the slightest. She glanced sideways at her as her head rested against the squabs, and had to admit that Juliet was quite the most absurdly lovely thing she had ever seen, even in the process of drifting off into uneasy slumber. She had removed her hat, and her red gold curls lay damply against her forehead, with one ringlet unpinned which lay against her creamy cheek. She had thick black eyelashes that were remarkably long, eyebrows as shapely as eyebrows could possibly be, and a coolly lovely mouth. Her expression at the moment was peaceful, but that mouth could curl quite cruelly on occasion. Mrs. Winterbourne sighed. She could have told no one how many times she had lamented the strange, cold obstinacy